It smells like a smoke. What?
Oh, certainly does. All right, well, I mean, you always want to smoke out of base for sure, but potential first blood here. B-God, you ain't going anywhere. It's going to be Mark to bring up the first blood for CDUB. They definitely saw that smoke happening.
Oh, that's some Giga Chat energy, dude. Just walking out and spamming your own voice line that you're smoking out, and it still doesn't matter.
Oh, Division 2, I've missed you.
Oh, that's the best. It was a great opener. Also, right now, CDUB are winning the Dota Plus levels by a large margin. They have 2 Master Tiers, a Platinum Tier and a Grandmaster Tier. So CDUB definitely got the old comfort picks for them right now. One thing I didn't really touch on in the draft is that they have a lot of magic burst right now for the Dragonite. So Sadman, aka High Shaggy, is going to have a bit of a rough time if he ever gets caught out by like a Blink Avatos into something like an arrow. Then they've got the Bushwhack and the Sharpshooter. So he needs an early BKB this game, which really enables them to play around this TA's timing as well. But without having those BKBs on both of your cores, it's going to be very, very hard for the Cut to continue to get these fights going. So I'm really going to be looking at that BKB timing here for the Cut.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a bit of a timing-based lineup on the side of the Cut. You want to utilize this TA lineup. You want to still have a good lane for the Beastmaster. So I'm just kind of curious about the Cut in the sense of, can they really ever leave this Beastmaster alone in this lane if he's in a good position? Because it is a Bloodseeker matchup after all. It's going to be very difficult to kind of just stay there and chill by yourself. And if you're even a little bit experienced behind, say, you get a first blood out of your lane, like they just kind of got on the techies already, but they didn't get a massive XP boost on the rest of the heroes, this lane could fall apart really quickly. And then you can't really rotate around to help your TA. You're struggling with 2 lanes. So the Cut, they got to make things work very well here in the early minutes. Like, you can't afford too many mistakes.
Yeah, I think they really got to abuse the fact that their level 1 spells are very, very strong on the Beastmaster and the techies. That's how they need to try and win this lane out. You can see already that B-God has abused us quite a lot. The fact that they know that he has arrow level 1, so he doesn't have to leap to try and get away from any of these sticky bombs. Yes, he is giving away stick charges, but at the end of the day, if you're forcing this Mirana to not be directly on top of your Beastmaster, clicking him away, he can CS and do pretty well in the lane because he will always have the wild axes to play around with.
Starting off the CS department pretty well. I saw the DK was having a bit of trouble in the mid lane at the start, but that's just Mark Ember Spirit. Like, he wants to keep on poking. The only way to beat a DK lineup is exactly the fact that you need to continuously harass. It's kind of like playing against the Bloodseeker as well. You wanna outtrade the regen basically in the lane to make sure that you're gonna establish dominance there. But also in the top lane, pretty low on the side of Sanctified. Scourge McDuck only just hits level 2. Now got the point in Meld and his side blades.
Yeah, I wonder if if he just went for the sneaky little trick that we've seen a decent amount from position 1 TAs. You just meld in the lane, you get that double meld strike to be able to kill the range creep or even just move towards the enemy offlane a bit. Either way, not having the refraction early on, I don't think it's that big of a deal because Bushwhack does its damage over time instead of all at once, so you can kind of deal with refraction relatively fast in this lane. So it's not like the refraction is going to be a get out of jail free card for Scrooge. So I'm interested to see what kind of transition he's going to make.
It's a useful tool for sure. Yeah.
One thing for the side of the Cut is they don't really have a support that can make a rotation towards mid lane, and that's why I think this mid lane going so heavily for Mark is a massive tick for me for CDUB, because you're not really going to be able to make rotations for this Dragonite to be able to take this tier 1 tower, and then that just can give a lot of kind of momentum for CDUB, because if Mark's able to play around with his remnants, he's able to get a lot of these power runes, he can make rotations towards these side lanes, and there's not really much that the Cut can do about it, right? Like, they've got a Disruptor as well as the techies, 2 heroes that kind of want to dominate the lane with their early spells and then make rotations once they hit level 6 and kind of go about their own business, but not really able to rotate towards a mid lane and gank an Ember Spirit per se.
Yeah, right now, even in the bottom lane, B-God and Italiano Gangstar, they're able to just out-harass the Mirana right now with the axes, and thanks to the slow as well, provided by the sticky bomb plus the nuke, they can do like over a third of HP to Duster, and you see the combo come out again. He's almost dead, but The blast off doesn't quite connect. However, Jube already down at the top lane. They will get themselves a trade-off as well. They're still diving under the trees, but the Bushwhack will at least keep Scourge McDuck at bay. So that's going to be 3 kills now in total for CDUB. Oh, looks like a miss pause. All right. Got to be careful with that button.
Sometimes you just hit the pause key. I've also noticed, I know there was a Reddit thread about it, but you can like pause and unpause on yourself like instantaneously if you press it like half too many times. So could have just been one of those issues. Okay, we will actually get the disconnect here from Duster, but the fact that they're able to get themselves 2 simultaneous kills across the map, I think Duster got pretty lucky with the massive hitbox from the arrow to be able to hit B-God there. I wasn't sure if it was just going to clip him, and it did. So B-God going down twice after a failed blast off attempt is not what you want for the cut. At the end of the day, you know, Italiano Gangstar, he's not suffering all too much. He's, 18-2 up against the 26-5. This is probably how you're expecting the lane to go. But the fact that Techies really hasn't been able to get these kills just yet, and Duster is now up to level 3. You can see he's made his way towards the jungle, can probably get some stacks going for his Bloodseeker or even his Ember Spirit if he wants to try and use that. And now it's getting to the point where Double King is going to be relatively okay to stay in this lane, right? Like he's going to get close to his phase boots. He's got 18 wand charges. They're not going to really be able to burst him down because if they ever get about half HP, he's always going to have to move speed from the Thirst. So CDUB have done a really, really good job at being able to dodge the scary part of this lane, which is the early couple of levels from the Techies and the Beastmaster.
Yeah, that's very important to kind of extra sustain for further on. If you do end up dying early, that's going to really buffet this Beastmaster. And at least he hasn't gotten his Dominator quite yet, so he's gotten himself a good pace on it. Just needs to pick up some more CS. At least he's getting the experience, so B-God is definitely securing this lane for him. CS-wise, not a huge difference. There's a triple net worth lead and CS lead going for CDUB at the moment, but it's not a massive difference. At least the Ember Spirit is having a pretty good time. And the thing is with this mid matchup as well, how this escalates from leaving the lane. The Ember Spirit, he could definitely make a rotation. You've got 2 stuns in the top lane. You've got another stun and a slow potentially in the bottom lane as well, which could help you out for picking off some kills. But you can find some easy picks in the top lane. Maybe even shut down this TA once or twice if Ember really wants to make the move. But you gotta be always very careful about the DK syndrome, which is your tower falling the moment you leave.
Yeah, and that's the kind of one issue that maybe CDUB could fall into, but I would love to see Mark as soon as he hits level 6 to be able to get the power rune and make a rotation towards the top side, because you can see that Scrooge is starting to fall a little bit behind the Tiny. Obviously, Tiny has a massive amount of base damage. It's very, very easy for him to last hit with the trees, but you make a rotation towards the top lane. Jube is almost food for you at that point with the combination of the stuns that you have, and if you can get a kill onto Scrooge, or at least force him out and send him towards the jungle, then that just means that your job is done as the Ember. You're able to enable your Tiny, who at this point, kind of the way you play offlane Tiny is you really want to play just a super fast 4. You just want to get to that blink as fast as possible, make rotations around the map, and then you can transition into damage later on if you want that. So to be able to enable Isla here on his Tiny, that's exactly what you want from Mark once he hits level 6.
Yeah, I also think like that's the best time if you can utilize that early farm, make sure that this Tiny is able to get to that blink as fast as possible, and then you can just start passing some of that farm to the Hoodwink. That actually allows Sanctify to scale better into this game through items. There's potentially like a couple good ones that you could pick up this game if you need some saving items. Like if you really want to save someone from the big stuns, I don't think building something like we've seen Wind Wakers against Enigmas, for example, where you save your big carry when the Black Hole drops. Well, you get hit by Dragon Tail, you get hit by Roar, and then you've also got the Techies jumping in. That's a lot of seconds just being stunned. So you do want to look for something that either purges it. You want to have a save in your team if possible, or you just give it all to Tiny, and technically you have Tiny, Ember, and Bloodseeker all being these damage dealers. But is that the thing you want to go for? Maybe it's just the initiation that they're looking for.
Yeah, maybe. At the end of the day, you just gotta wait and see what these players have done. I've spent far too many hours trying to theorize against a lot of these players.
There's a bit of irony talking about Wind Waker 5 minutes into the game, but just saying.
It's always one of those items that I feel like should be bought far more than what it is. I feel like it is It's kind of like Revenant's Brooch. It's one of those one of those items that is so expensive that you think about it, you're like, oh, it would be such an amazing game to have it right here. Yeah. And then nobody ever thinks about it, and they spend that gold plus more on another item where you're like, oh, I'm not 100% sold on it. So I want to see more Wind Wakers, please. Please, please.
Only 3 kills here in the early 5 minutes of play. And CDUB with a tiny bit of a lead coming out of this laning stage, still underway. No specialities or nothing special happened yet so far. Let's see when's the next time we're going to get some voice line spam from CDUB.
Oh, B-God. He tried to unblock the Ancients here, but the Sentry Ward is literally in the one corner of the hitbox that it doesn't see. So they're not able to get that. Dust is able to reset it as well. So this time around, it means that the Ancients will not go down.
Meanwhile, Isla, Sanctified, they're going to find Scourge McDuck in the top lane, tossed into the air with the help of the Bushwhack. That is a very long noose, and there's no TA remaining.
Yeah, they're just able to abuse the one moment that Jubei wanted to go ward. They thought he was going to be A-OK underneath the tower. 2 levels in the refraction, but you know, Isla's just 3 levels in the avalanche. So it just means that he just does so much damage, and they're able to just burn through those refraction charges extremely fast if you ever hit a Bushwhack. So it's very, very hard for Scrooge to be able to play this lane, and I think this is the one kind of cause for concern for the cut.
Be careful.
His top lane is hard.
Mark, he's going to get a double bounty rune bottle fill for himself, but he's not actually going to make a move towards the top lane. Instead, he's going to opt to go back. Bit of battling there as well in the bottom lane, dropping that Beastmaster, but he's already got himself the Helm of Iron Will. He's about to finish the Dominator, 600 gold away, so the timing for him is still optimal. And since that Ancient, you talked about the Ancients being blocked, B-God, he finds it, but it's on the other side of the tree line.
Come on, B-God, you can do it.
There we go.
All right.
Success.
So at 8 minutes, we'll have our first spawn of the Ancients here for the cut.
Top lane, though. Scourge McDuck is going to be controlled here, tossed by Isla. Sanctified right next to him. They've got cooldowns on both of their heroes. Just need to rely on right clicks, but it's going to be enough to take down Scourge. And that's going to be 5-0 for CDUB with a 2K lead. TA taken down twice.
Oh, no, the pathing, man. He tried to cut the tree to be able to get himself back towards the tower, but he didn't cut the right tree and then ended up walking back in the arms of CDUB.
Saw some good jukes there. Oh, he's contesting for the potential action rune here, but it's going to spawn on the top half. It's a DD rune for the Ember. So that's something that DK is not going to be able to grab. He-God still chasing for Mirana. Does he connect the Sticky Bomb? Needs to land it in the right spot. That's a connection. Right click, is it enough? Nope. Raindrops to save.
Yeah, Raindrops are a little broken. I was watching the cooldown the whole time, and it was basically the exact same as what Sticky Bombs was. So I don't think B-God was ever going to get that one.
Oh, Arrow almost connects onto Sadman. He will get caught by the Bushwhack, so they have the dot damage, but Techies is going to jump in, take down Duster. They're going to lose Sadman and also B-God Mark. He's going to spam out every single remnant for this kill. Jubei, 3 points in glimpse, but no backup, so going to have to pass this one out.
Yeah, unfortunately for B-God, he tried to help out his mid laner. Sadman still goes down. Mark gets a double kill. And this Hemba is having a pretty free time. Though Sadman has made a response in the CS chart, so they're just starting to come back in this game. But the fact that the Ember is over 1,000 gold ahead of him now is not looking good here for the cut. Scrooge is starting to struggle as well. Same with Sadman. So if CDUB can keep up this pressure, then they're looking good to take game 1 on.
Yep. Well, that's an easy pick off there. Onto Sanctified. He walks onto the high ground only to get nuked by TA and Disruptor, so that's an easy one. Duster, however. They do want to contest the farming here at least. Make sure some of that experience does go for their supports. Looking at levels as well. They are very under-leveled right now on so many supports this game. Level 4 Mirana, level 4 Techies. Beast is also level 5 at this moment, so he will get his 6 from farming these hard camp stacks at least.
Yeah, they're definitely struggling for levels right now. They did try to make a go there onto Mark, but he had the Remnant to be able to get away from the Blast-Off. So the combination with the Dragon Tail and the Blast-Off just wasn't enough. So another power rune is going to go the way here of Mark. Fortunately for Sadman, he has not been able to touch any of them right now. And CDUB are in a really, really good spot. Their cores are farming exactly how they need to. Isla's going to get to a very, very fast Blink Dagger, only 100 gold away. So at about, 10.5 minute mark, they're just going to have more initiation, more damage, more ways to be able to take the cut downs.
Oh, that's a beautiful one. Got yourself a glimpse into Dragon Tail there, but Hoodwink trying to fight for his life. Instant sharpshooter as well to get some distance. DK still going to keep up the chase. They've got the same amount of movement speed, just needs one more right click to finish off the job. And the Centaurs, no, they don't get it. Sama gets the kill for himself and Mark. He intervenes to take down B-God. Now in the river, it's just going to be a 1v1 and a big burning piggy. He ain't going to run.
Should be able to get away here. Sandman's just going to be a bit annoying to Mark. He's not really going to have the damage to kill him. So be able to take down Sanctify there is exactly what they wanted. They're just trying to pick off any of these members that are kind of floating around. You can see all the cores are more than happy to stay in their lane.
Top though. Mass TPs as well. They go for SMD, but they're going to get the turnaround at least. They've got themselves Duster inside the Static Storm, and the Melt Strike's going to finish him off. Isla, can they also get the Tiny? They're still in the chase. Bushwhack, sharpshooter ready. TA, very low Avalanche, but he does get the refraction off despite being inside the Avalanche. And the jump from B-God, they're going to turn this one around to take down the Tiny. Mines are exploding, but he does take down the second one. And they still got the Sticky Bomb Glimpse. That should finish him off. Yes, that will. But Double King, he's going to make the rotation. He's going to get a double kill for himself to get something in return. That's a pretty long scuffle, and it ends up being 2 for 2. But it looks like it will favor CDUB in the end because they do get the tower.
Yep, it's a good rotation there from Double King. He's farmed up towards his Maelstrom, so now he can start putting himself in the areas that Scrooge McDuck wants to try and farm. You can see that they just understand that this TA is at one of the weak points right now. Does have the max out refraction.
That's a big kill if they can get this one. Saman, he's down to 200, dodges the sharpshooter. He sees at least a projectile flying in, able to make a move to the side. If that connected, that would have been a dead DK. No regeneration while broken. Close one, but a lot of time spent there with Mark and Duster trying to get this kill. Ember, at least, he does get his TPF cooldown, so he can just remnant, jump back in, regenerate up. Meanwhile, smoke coming up from Isla and Duster. I was just looking at this Bloodseeker's net worth as well. Double King with that double kill. Got himself a lot of extra dosh.
Yeah, he's a big fat boy right now. He's definitely loving life.
Mark makes himself known in the mid lane. Now just need the initiation. Toss comes out. He's not in the angle for the arrow. Arrow's a creep. So TK, form a Static Storm! But is it going to be enough? Beautiful combo from B-God! Yes, they take down Duster and Mark. The Sticky Bomb also connecting onto the Hoodwink. Triple kill for B-God. Oh, Jubei, they walked into his trap. What a Static Storm onto 4.
Oh, Duster, if he could have his time over, that was an unfortunate arrow. That could have at least gotten themselves a kill onto Sadman, but in fact, it just turns around and they lose 3 instead.
Oh, they cancel out the TP from the Templar, and he's ruptured up as well. He's down a very low HP, and that is SMD down. And a bit of fight coming out from CDUB. Not going to tap out instantly after that costly fight in mid, and actually get a good trade to somewhat repair the situation. It's not fully salvageable, but it is something.
Yeah, it is. And you can just kind of see the combos that we're talking about in the draft, right? With the way that they're able to walk in with a Static Storm Kinetic Field combo instantly into a 4-man blast off. They get blown up by the landmines as well. And the icing on top is B-God with the fadeaway Sticky Bomb. Gets himself a triple. So he's pretty happy with that. He's moving towards his first item, which is going to be the Shard, which is one of the best parts about techies, is you just get a massive AoE stun for whatever reason that is 4,000 range. So yeah, he's going to be able to do a lot in these team fights with very little.
And the counter smoke, DD, it is the blink reveal for the DK. He's going to get some decent damage out straight onto Tiny, but he avalanches as he hits the creeps. He was just farming.
Oh, that was so lucky from Isla. Oh, he's still caught though.
Gonna get glimpsed up into the Dragon Tail. Stun, Duster's around, Sanctified's also around, but they can't help out. That DD is too much to deal with. Looking for more. They burst down Duster, down to half HP. Mark gonna throw out the chains, keep Saltman away. Another 7 seconds for Blink. Glimpse is ready. Does he have vision? He's just trying to get something for this Disruptor, and they're going very deep because they know they're going to be caught in a position they cannot fight back, and Duster gets blown up. They do get the chance to trade off of B-God and take away his dominating spree into the arms of Sanctified.
Yeah, that's You can just kind of see that both these teams understand that they have kind of hit a little bit of a timing, right? Like Sadman has his Blink Dagger now, so he's able to provide the perfect vision for Jubei. Now they're going to have the Shard on B-God as well, so a lot of their catch is going to be so long range, and this just alleviates a bit of the pressure coming in from Scrooge, right? Like we talked about the first couple of minutes where it was all CDUB's cause. They were the ones that are in the top 3. Right now, it is only Double King. He's the only one that's been able to stay on top of the cut cause. And now as we're looking at this could be a bad fight again.
Uh-oh. Ooh, that's a close dodge. The remnant dodge is coming out from Mark. Will buy a lot of time. Turn around with a toss as well. Arrow will miss. Jubei getting slowed up with the ruptures here. Sharpshooter's going to be taking down Jubei. Now Sandman trying to stand his ground for a moment, but you cannot fight against a BK beat up Bloodseeker, and the Beastmaster rotated to take down Mark, but he will also fall. Italiano Gangstar to fall. And that big creep also snatched away by Duster. That should potentially open up that mid-tier 1 tower. Let's see what the call is going to be. CDUB at least going to secure a bit of map control for themselves. Isla, he could go for another blink play. They just don't have the vision onto the high ground, so they're going to secure this. Okay, they're not going to secure the tower. Because I was also like, are they hesitant to take this one? But apparently they are.
Scared of this exact situation.
Yep, they've been here before. Don't want to fall into a trap again. B got bush whacked up onto the tree. And it will take down Isla. Arrow, it does connect onto the Disruptor, but it's hard to get to. Some mines in between. Double King down a half HP. Can't quite get the kinetic field to catch. Now the Glimpse is going to do a bit more extra damage onto the Bloodseeker. He's still running fast. Meanwhile, Sod takes down Duster. Sod or Sadman, don't know which one it is, but high Shaggy nevertheless.
Yeah, being able to play extremely well after the unfortunate start they had here for the cut, but they're really just abusing the fact that they don't have to worry about cooldowns, right? Like their cooldowns are so low on all of their abilities. 90 seconds is like the longest one that Jubei's got, so they're more than happy to just continue to keep going and keep these fights rolling. Whereas for the side of CDUB, they're the ones that don't really have that kind of tanky frontliner for them. Isla really wants to stay at the back, and I wasn't quite sure if Italiano Gangstar was going to try and make the go there on a mark on the bottom lane, but the fact that they don't have a hero like the Dragonite or even the TA to an extent, right, it is so hard for them to just push up and take these objectives because all it has to be is just a big old blast off coming in from B-God and then the team fight kicks off.
That is for sure. And on to Mark. They're going to make a play here. They do have 7 seconds for Static Storm, but they did not have it ready. And just a DK getting stun locked. They went too early. Jubei wasn't ready for it, and it seems like the DK wasn't ready for it either. Scourge McDuck, he's going to try and TP out. He will be successful in doing so. Now the BKB charge used up with the Bloodseeker. No avail. Jubei. Oh. Is it going to be another repeat again? Not again. Oh, the mine gets destroyed. It would have done so much more damage. It would have actually cleaned out the entire house. But Mark and Duster will fall. And Isla still fighting against B-God. Here comes Double Kin with the full max movement speed here. At least B-God will trade off one. Jubei. 6 seconds for Glimpse. Double Kin trying to make a run for it. Scourge McDuck is also on his way. They want to fight this. They want to take down this Bloodseeker. No BKB, no defensive capabilities right now. Black Dragon coming in as well. Still being chased up. Jubei Glimpse is ready. Tosses him back. Italiano Gangstar. And they will surround this Bloodseeker. And Scourge McDuck, I was about to say, this guy has not had the easiest game on the TA, dying so early a couple times. But now that you've got your item timings and you get this big kill as well, and a big team fight, they could just go straight up Roshan and you are online.
Yeah, and now with the Deso charges coming in as well, the arrow is big from Duster, so it looks like they want to try and fight.
Rolled up, and that Roshan does end up going for the cut, but the Aegis, it's still on the ground. Scourge McDuck somehow finds it despite the bushwhack in the middle, and CDUB, they're going to be losing 2 members at least. Duster very low on HP, Mark will be falling as well, and Scourge McDuck will lose the Aegis. Gets bursted down by Duster. Duster looks like he's going to fall as well. Oh, that is pretty costly on the side of CDUB. They couldn't quite interrupt that Roshan and couldn't even take the Aegis. End up losing 4 heroes.
I wasn't sure what happened there from Isla, but he had a space in his inventory and still didn't pick up the Aegis after he Avatos Scrooge McDuck. So, not sure what happened, but it could just be a scenario of, you know, when you toss somebody up in the air and you're like clicking on the ground as tiny, sometimes like their hitbox takes up like 95% of your screen. So, I don't know. Either way, that was a rough fight for CDUB. But the cut, they're dotting I's and crossing their T's, right? Like they've taken a lot of the objectives on the map. They took the mid tier 1, taken the bottom tier 1.
Oh, look at that graph.
They're winning these fights, and now the graph is just showing that these guys are on the trajectory to try and get this game number 1.
1 or 2 mistakes and the game is starting to snowball out of your hands, and now the cut, they're pretty happy. They're smiling at the situation. Guys, we might have had a pretty rough laning stage in the sense we were killed all over. We were about to lose objectives, but we're basically still on par with our timings here. So they're feeling very, very happy with what's happening. On the other side, CDUB. How far can you stretch this? Because that is pretty costly to give away. These next fights are going to be a lot harder than what they were supposed to be.
Yeah, I really think they need to try and find B-God, right? They need to make sure that their initiations aren't going on to Sadman, because that's exactly what the cut want, and now the cut get the initiation first.
Oh, that's a good jump as well. Tiny, not much you can do here. 4 heroes surrounding the Tiny. Isla will be taken down, Sanctified, just on the edge of vision. He's also got a cheeky ward place down here where you can see everything that is happening in that lane. You can just happily sit in the trees, chill there for a little bit. Top tier 1 tower is not looking too healthy, though, after Scourge McDuck gets his hands on him.
Yep, especially now with Talion and Gangstar coming in as well. They absolutely melt this tower. They're going to melt their objectives to the entirety of the map, right? Like, Beastmaster plus TA has been one of those combinations that, they kind of take over the same parts of the map when they both want to try and go towards the Ancients. But when you get to this point where they have items and they're all about just taking objectives, it is so hard for you to try and deal with it. B-God?
Yeah. Well, he finds a hoodwink.
Damn. You just found him in the trees. I'm not quite sure. Maybe he just caught a glimpse of Sanctified as he walked out of the trees to try and cut the crit wave, but B-God was more than ready and waiting for that one. And this Techies has turned out really well. I think B-God has really kind of turned around the laning phase they had. They definitely could have tried to be a little bit more aggressive in their lane. But at the end of the day, the way that they responded to a lot of the initiations onto their Dragonite and really defended their tier 1 mid tower just goes to show that the cut understood that this was kind of one of the big key points for CDUB to play around with, right? Like, when you take that mid tier 1 tower, you're able to unlock the jungle where you can start to pressure Scrooge McDuck a whole lot more. Then you don't have a place for Sadman to farm. Then you don't have a place for Italian and Gangstar to farm, and really starts to all crumble from there. And the cut did a really good job of just delaying that.
Well, they're going to find themselves a Mirana, but the Force Staff comes out before the field has been placed down, so Mirana gets a bit of extra distance. However, no more leap charges. This DK is going to eventually catch up to you, and Duster going for the TP out, and looks like he got out! What? Yeah. That wasn't supposed to happen!
That is what we call knowing your sightlines, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, for sure. Mark. Now he's being chased up. He's got no remnants. He's also going to be in trouble, but Techies gets the kill on Mark, and they can't even trade off with the Techies. Scourge McDuck jumping in onto the hoodwink. Sanctified taking some heavy hits. He's also going to have to TP home. Oh, dear.
Yeah. CDUB really starting to get run over now from the cut. They've hit this big timing. They got their Aegis on the TA. Yeah, got instantly burnt, but it meant that it was got them the entire tier 2 top as well.
Oh, a bit of a sigh there as well. Like, ooh, that was close. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, this is the timing for the cut. Basically, they're at their absolute strongest in this game right now compared to CDUB's strength. So they can just do whatever they want, pushing down towers, really utilizing the Ancient Thunderhide's frenzy as well onto the TA who already has the SO. So that those towers just fall really, really fast, especially if CDUB, if they lose a hero close to an objective, right? That's the worst situation for them, because that instantly is going to lead one kill into an objective that they cannot defend anymore. And that's just going to fall.
Yeah, and especially because it's very, very hard for them to initiate on the 2 cores they're going to be hitting the tower too, right? Like, you're always going to have this Ancient Thunderhide who's going to be hitting the tower. Then you've got a TA as well as a Dragonite who are just going to be the ones that are going to be clapping these towers. So if CDUB aren't able to get a good initiation, because you want to try and blow up the heroes that are pushing the tower, but if you go on to them and you don't kill them straight away, then B-God comes in, Jubei is able to get like a big static storm connect combo.
Still no he's 20 gold from BKB. He needs to get out. He does get tossed to safety. And a huge save, because that would have pushed back December Spirit in a very awkward position. He will get his BKB up, and now the Beastmaster also finishes his. So CDUB, they get to regroup, recharge. The Cut holding on the high ground position.
So now they have the BKB on mark. They know there's no Raw. They know there is no Static Storm. So this is probably go time for CDUB. BKB picked up now for both the Beastmaster as well as the Dragon Knight. So CDUB, they have 5 members here in the mid lane.
They have been scouted out. They can see Duster at least. I think they saw a glimpse of the Tiny too.
Okay. They even have a smoke check.
Doesn't look like either team has any in stock right now.
Yeah, so Duster has one on him, so
right.
They have at least one for CDUB, but they know it's very, very hard for them to find a spot where they can smoke that they're not going to be found, right? Like, you've always got the Beastmaster Hawks, there's TA traps literally everywhere. There's all these wards that are happening as well, so the Cut, they're just more than happy to chip away at this tier 3 bottom.
Yep. You also have the drums up on this Beastmaster. They've just got full-on buff and attack speed.
They have double drums.
You're gonna have to defend this one. It's gonna fall pretty quickly if they don't get a chance to jump onto the Cut. Isla just glimpsed back away. Probably we're hoping that he'll be sent somewhere else.
And that's the hard part about playing this for CDUB, right? Is they know if they smoke out and they don't have heroes on the map that are able to deal with these waves, and they're just going to be constantly pushed in. And, you know, the techies can deal tower damage, the TA can deal a lot of tower damage, the Beastmaster, the Dragon Knight. They have 4 heroes. They can push these towers and push these waves really fast as well. So CDUB, they need to try and find something fast, but it's just too hard for them. They need to try and catch B-God or Jubei, but they're playing so far back that it is so hard for CDUB to not have to fight them front to back.
And it's never a very happy game if the Bloodseeker has a Lincoln's queued up as well. He's a bit afraid of all that single target lockdown, especially when it comes to the Beastmaster, because he needs to be in the front of the fight. But he also is going to be soaking up stuns if he just BKBs in. He basically just wastes his most important tool in a team fight. So the Lincoln's makes a lot of sense, but it's never a good time to actually have it. Duster, well, he's history.
Yep. That is a left, right, good night. Good old glimpse into blast off combo. They didn't even have to commit Sadman, and now you can see that the Cut they're the ones that have full control of this map, right? Like, there are points where you can see that CDUB are going towards his top side, but it's all about the Cut who are the ones that can make these movements, and it's CDUB that have to make these responses, right? No 2-2 towers that's remaining for them on the map. So it means that these next couple of fights are going to be all so dire, because we've already seen what happens when they chip away at a tier 3 tower. Imagine what happens when they have their way with it.
Well, 8,000 lead going in the favor of the Cut. And they have been able to turn things around with 2 pretty decisive team fights into the Roshan battle. And to be frank, it has been the supports that have turned this game upside down. Jubei, B-God, 2 great initiations onto the entire CDUB roster, and they're very stacked up right now. It will go for the Static Storm instantly onto the Mirana, trying to get a jump here, but the Roar does connect onto Mark. They're going to catch Double King as well. They're going to get obliterated in the river. Not even a chance to fight back.
Yeah, that was, again, another sick initiation coming in from Jubei. He finds 2 with the Static Storm kinetic field combo. B-God's able to follow up, and it's just so much damage. The BKB is being popped, and Sanctified. Is he going to be a 4th?
Oh,
yeah, he's
by the looks of it, it is, yeah. It is the supports just bullying this this entire CDUB lineup here. Jubei trying to get a little bit of extra vision. B-God jumping in deep. There we go. The Glimpse and the Mine. They're both going to be connecting, so that is another hero dead. And meanwhile, the Cut pushing down mid.
Yeah, and they're able to get the Aegis as well. We'll watch it one more time. They walk in. Isla walks to the backside of this Static Storm kinetic field combo, but as soon as 2 heroes get caught out by that blast off, it is so hard for you to play around with. They instantly get deleted. Now with Aegis in hand, they can just walk up to the high ground. Like, they don't really have to worry about anything, right? Like, the Bloodseeker was picked in this draft as more of a response to the Beastmaster Techies lane.
Yep.
But we can see now that the weakness of this hero is if you don't have a really good rupture target. Like, he can rupture the TA in the Dragon Knight, but you're really not going to do much else about it because the TA just pops her BKB. She's just going to stand there. Yeah, you might bash her up every so often, but it's everybody else that does the damage for the cut, right? Like, their supports just do so much work, and it is all about initiating on them and starting a fight that way, but then you leave a TA completely untouched.
Yeah. The thing for me in that fight, I feel like it was a bit unnecessary on the side of CDUB. They could have just waited out the Static Storm and figured out something out, but hey, Double King, he's already very low on HP. Sawman controlling. The Roar comes out onto the Mirana as well as Isla's going to get nuked down. 2 heroes down from the side of CDUB. Even though the Rupture is onto the DK, Scourge McDuck, he's going to find Sanctified as well. Making it 3. It's just 2 cores making their way back home. So the Cut's just dominating fight after fight after fight. But yeah, going back to that previous Roshan fight, like they were under vision. They forced out the Static Storm with only 1 hero stuck inside. It was just the Mirana. I think there was a moment where you could have just like, all right, guys, chill. We don't actually need to commit on top of this. And they couldn't catch anybody with their blinks, and instead just got counter-initiated on, and everybody blew up. But this fight, this was just too one-sided again.
Yeah, TA with a double damage rune. You know, it's not really much that you can do unless you catch her out and blow her up. But they haven't been able to do that for the better part of like 20 minutes now. So CDUB, they had a very, very strong early game. They had a very, very strong start to their lanes. I think they did really, really well in their lanes. But it was, I think they got a little too overexcited in that mid game. They're like, oh, we're really far ahead, but you know, 5-6 kills completely unanswered. This early game is going so well for us. Mark's having a very, very good time with Ember Spirit. And they just overcommitted a couple of times. B-God and Tubei, I mean, we're probably going to talk about them until the cows come home, but those guys, their counter initiation, their positioning has been really, really good to just kind of drag the cut back into this and just enable their cause to get to this point in the game where it's 32 minutes and they're 20k ahead.
Guy's just playing Minesweeper here.
And the worst part is he has an E-Blade now. So if anybody walks up there, like, they are just dead.
That's not going to be a fun path to walk on top of.
It's like old techies once again.
Oh, yeah.
They're not all stacked on top of each other.
Slowly moving at 1 movement speed towards the enemy base.
That was
Never forget.
Techie's talents were, I swear, like, the biggest memes on the planet. When he got, like, what was it? 322 damage? Was what he got?
It was like
3 or
from
something.
250 damage to 251, yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's 252.
Like, Techies, what an interesting hero. What a life cycle he has had.
Oh, for sure. But at least they're saying like this hero is it's much more honest compared to the previous techies, where you're actually playing with the team, for the team, by the team.
Yeah, I definitely think the way that Techies plays now, as we've seen from B-God, is definitely about getting a lot of that counter initiation and just kind of surprising people with the amount of damage he can do. Like, usually when you see like a Techies obviously, you're like, oh, he can't do that damage, but then he kills you from 1200 HP.
Yeah, there goes the Roar. They're going to force out the early BKB2. That's already worn out. Can they ult this defense, though? They're dropping Scourge McDuck pretty low. He's still got 40 seconds on the Aegis as well. They're going to be losing Sanctified at the start of the fight. Isla to drop as well, with the buyback coming out from Sanctified to at least recover a little bit. But Mark just getting right-click down here, but the Bushwhack will connect. And that's going to be TA losing his first life. The melee rack still down to 700 HP. CDUB looking for an angle here. Sawman does get the stun out onto Duster, but the arrow's still on cooldown for another 7 seconds as well. Double King, no BKB. He's going to get surrounded. The jump coming out from B-God as well, and he's going to burn down in the flames, in the fire. And that will take down the Bloodseeker. He's down for 60 seconds. No buyback. DK controlling the front line. Takes down Duster. And the Cut, they just seem to be continuing what they did last tour as well, dominating CDUB, and the first game goes their way.
Yeah, the Cut, I think that was a really, really good masterclass on just kind of keeping your head and understanding that if you ever do hit these timings, like...